What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Robin 2021 annual. First things first, I should mention, there's going to be a lot of videos coming out this week. Apparently, DC decided to just drop every possible Batman annual in existence and a few other titles. There's so many Batman books this week. I'm so overwhelmed with how many I have to cover, but I will get to all of them. Hopefully everything will be done by the weekend. There's just a lot to do. But most importantly, we're going to be talking about the Robin 2021 annual, because Robin is my favorite ongoing comic at DC right now. I don't think anything else is on its level currently, and I'm just really excited to talk about it. So this cover here is kind of amazing. It's just feels like a hokey teen magazine thing. You see Robin in love, toxic parents, Ravager says slice those family ties, and most importantly, immortal abs, Ra's al Ghul's workout secrets revealed. The most disappointing thing about this issue is we don't learn Ra's al Ghul's workout secrets to have fantastic abs, which is kind of a disappointment. I would have liked to have known. Maybe he knows some secrets we don't know. But anyways, this is the annual. Now, this issue in particular is set after issue number 5, but before issue number 6. But what this issue does is it delves into the backgrounds of various characters. For instance, we learn Flatline's origins. We still don't know her name, but we do learn her origins. We learn why she's a metahuman and such. We learn a little background on some of the fighters. And we also get some teases of some big events coming next year, especially one going on with this thing called the Shadow War, which is supposed to tie into Batman, Deathstroke Incorporated, and of course Robin, which, as you know, are all written by Joshua Williamson, because Williamson's taking over Batman. So we got that going on there. So let's quickly summarize this issue. So like I said, this one takes place right after issue 5, after Damian was given the bow staff by Dick Grayson, and it turns out that the staff itself had some information on it, kind of like a tracker, but it also is able to access some of Damian's files, which, you know, Nightwing is like, that's Damian saying like, oh, of course he puts a tracker on me, but wait a minute, I also have access to my files, and it has backgrounds on all the different characters. So the first one is Flatline. So surprise, surprise, Flatline is Russian. Still don't know her actual name, but we just know that she's Russian. She has an older sister, a mom and a dad, and a grandfather. And she always kind of had some bit of an obsession with death, and she definitely was a bit of an outcast with her family. But as soon as her grandfather died, something happened with her, and like it triggered her metahuman gene where she could, like, was kind of closer to death, was able to kind of learn from dead people, like to gain their experiences and stuff. So yes, as she's doing her research, she finds out more information. And also, she, like Damian, who is haunted by the spirit of Alfred, she is haunted by the ghost of her grandfather. We find out that he was experimented on in the KGB, which made him special. He could learn from those who died, retain their skills and expertise, and it helped me to do some very bad thing for some very bad people. Then all of a sudden, their family is attacked. Again, her family doesn't believe her with all this stuff, and they think she's kind of a bit of a weirdo or a freak or something like that. But then they end up getting attacked. She kills the attackers and saves her family's life, but her family just kind of abandons her, and then she's kind of left to kind of go off on her own. She's like, I never did fit in with them anyway, so her whole family's gone at this point. And then it also changes her appearance to, like, something about tapping into that metahuman gene. So she tries to go off and try to find more information she can learn about death. So then she goes to who else but Lord Deathman, who had an issue with Batman and that in the past. And so she kind of learns her things. Lord Deathman, in fact, she's even superior to Lord Deathman, it seems, in terms of combat and all that stuff, who basically sends her off to the League of Lazarus tournament. Is like, oh, go ahead, you're off, go do your own thing. Doesn't really seem to care, but he's like, my apprentice, my great apprentice. Ooh, give me this Lazarus resin, stuff like that. So she ends up going to the tournament, and then it picks up right kind of where issue 1 picked off, where she goes to call dibs to fight Robin. She's like, hi, I'm Flatline. Has anyone died yet? Everyone's like, kind of back off, weirdo. She's like, I guess there really is no one out there like me. And then who shows up but Damian? And Damian, of course, this is the very first thing where he kind of brags and gloats about who he is. And she also senses an aura of death around him, which, you know, since she was seeing her grandfather, Damian was seeing Alfred. I wonder if that's going to play into certain things, but that was something I wasn't really necessarily expecting. But is anyone going to challenge him? And then she kind of calls dibs, and she's kind of excited about it, like, finally, somebody who's kind of like me in a way. So, yeah, it's kind of like slowly kind of building up that connection that the two of them have. You have the manga. Now you also have it to where she's seeing a ghost, kind of like Damian's seeing the ghost of Alfred, but instead she's seeing her grandfather. I wonder if she can see Alfred too. That's something I'm kind of curious about. So we'll see what happens there. Then he kind of goes in through all the stuff with the different fighters. Some of them who don't really do much. And again, since this annual kind of already came out a few issues after some of the other stuff was released, so a lot of the suspense is taken away, but like we learned a smidge about Black Swan, just a page dedicated to her, one about XXL, one about the Drenched, and again, these are all fighters who didn't really play much of a role in the tournament, all things considered. Then we have a page on Respawn, who there's still no information about, but as I've stated in several videos, one of my theories is speculating that this is going to be Grant Wilson, and there may be some truth to that. So we get a little flashback to a few weeks prior where Ravager was off trying to find out why her dad, Deathstroke, went on to join the organization Trust, which if you're reading the Deathstroke books, you know that's the organization him and Black Canary are kind of working for right now. So Slade has his own reasons for being there, and we're going to find more information out about that as we continue on in the book. So yeah, you can check that thing out. You can check out my Deathstroke review, so if you want to know more about that. Rose is also working with Jason. She goes to one of Slade's old hideouts, and she's given a token after basically brutalizing and killing a bunch of ninjas. She's given a token to join the League of Lazarus tournament. And so she goes into one of his old hideouts, and they mention stuff on Grant Wilson. This character who I've stated is probably Respawn. And there's a lot of nods to Grant Wilson, which makes me think, okay, Grant Wilson died, and then all of a sudden he respawns after dying. It just makes sense that it would be Grant. I can't think of any other possible character it would be other than Grant Wilson, perhaps a Slade Wilson clone, but I really think it would be cool if it were Grant Wilson, because as we know, based on past history, why did Slade get so personal with the Titans after everything that happened? Like, he basically did a lot of the stuff he did as revenge for the death of his own son. So there's that going on there. So yeah, that's that. And then we learned a smidge about Connor Hawke, and not too much that they found him. Damian kind of wonders why Batman has all this information. He's like, I can use all this to beat the fighters, but he takes it and then he smashes it, much to the dismay of Alfred, because I want to do this on my own. So like, this is his fight, he has to do this on his own. I kind of like that. Like, he's given all this stuff and he's like, no, I have to earn this, I have to do this on my own, I have to prove to everyone that I can do this myself. So I like that for his character. So that was kind of a nice bit. Then we get the epilogue. I'm not sure, like, this is again set after this issue, maybe even set after a few issues down the road of what's going on in Robin, or it's kind of going simultaneously. But basically, Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to pronounce it, is off kind of doing his own meditation thing, gets attacked by a bunch of ninjas, and the ending reveals to be Talia, and it's like, I've come here to talk, Father. Then it also mentions follow Talia's adventures in the pages of Batman, Robin, and Deathstroke Incorporated. And don't miss Shadow War coming in 2022. So Shadow War seems to be the big storyline that's going to be with all the different organizations and League of Assassins and all that stuff. So yeah, Robin, it seems right after the League of Lazarus tournament, it's going to tie into this event known as Shadow War. And if Talia is going to be a big factor in that, as we can tell, and she's also going to appear in the Deathstroke book, and you have Williamson writing Batman. So all three of those books are going to tie together for this big Shadow War storyline, whatever that may be. That has me intrigued, though. So it's all kind of like League of Assassins, secret organizations, that old thing. So yeah, overall consensus, I thought Robin 2021 was a pretty solid annual. We got some origins of Flatline, which was cool. I do wish we could have learned her name. I thought that would have been a little bit better, in my opinion, because like, okay, we're getting the origins, we might as well learn her name, or maybe that's going to be something we'll figure out as the series goes on. But we do at least have an origin, which is an interesting one. We also have a little bit of background on some of the other characters, not very much, because a lot of the characters like Black Swan, XXL, and there was that other character didn't really like do much in the tournament, all things considered, so they're just kind of background figures. Whereas like the only one like of the new characters, well, two of the new characters in this Robin series that really have any showcasing are Flatline, because she's basically the big breakout character of the book, and Damian's grandmother, Ra's al Ghul, or Ru'a al Ghul, however you pronounce it. So we got that, and also some more information on who Respawn could possibly be. kind of adding fuel to the theory that it's going to be Grant Wilson, which is something I think, and teases for a big Shadow War event coming next year with Talia al Ghul. So I'm excited for all that stuff. What do you all think of this issue? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to come back later on today. I'm going to start covering more videos. I got the Fear State Omega video I'm going to get done because that's kind of the epilogue to Fear State. So I'll be done with Fear State today. Then I got so many other annuals. There's a Batman annual, a Detective Comics annual, a Nightwing annual. There's a Teen Titans Academy thing. There's so many freaking books that I have to cover today. I've kind of lost track. Oh, there's a Gotham City Villains one too, but I'll worry about getting that one later. But apparently Danny DeVito worked on that, so that should be interesting. All right, well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.